I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, I've said, is Jordan-esque, has GOAT potential. But my enthusiasm about the Chiefs pales in comparison to that of my co-host on First Things First, one of my co-hosts, Nick Wright. And he's from Kansas City, so you know, Rob, he's a huge Kansas City fan.
Homer.
Yeah, I mean, he is. He'll admit it. He's a big, huge Kansas City fan. Grew up there and all that. And he made a statement today on First Things First where he said something about Patrick Mahomes that I want to talk about with you. But here he is.
Patrick Mahomes, we can show you the numbers now. Is he the greatest playoff quarterback ever? Well, he's on pace to be. That's all-time rankings, but that's going to take a long time. Here's what won't take a long time. Is Patrick Mahomes having right now the greatest postseason run ever? The answer to that is yes. A 131 rating.
He's going to score.
9 total touchdowns. The one pick was a tip pass. Actually, more yards per rush than yards per pass. 440 yards per game. And Broussard, what's the competition he's done it against? Well, the Defensive Player of the Year plus Mike Tomlin was the first one. And the second one was the number 1 defense in football. So what's more likely? That team loses or that team blows the doors off the happy to be here Bengals? Guys. If this has 42-17 written all over.
No way.
Now, Rob, I think what's more likely, I'm picking the Chiefs, obviously, but I think that the Bengals are more likely to win a close game than they are to get blown out. I think Chiefs are going to win in a good game, a high-scoring, competitive football game. I don't think they just rout Cincinnati.
I think, Nick, the only problem I have is we knew Pittsburgh wasn't good, Chris. I mean,
well, they made the playoffs. So
I know, but they weren't that good. No one's gonna. I'll give you that he
and the defense
he went over
is good
against Buffalo, but Pittsburgh, we never thought they were going to have a shot against Kansas City in that game. But anyway, and I think he's totally discounted what Cincinnati was able to do against their defense. You know, when they came back and won, like they got to have some confidence. And their quarterback, was sacked 9 times and really didn't have a chance to explode or do what he does, Chris, in the last game. Yeah, so I think that 42-7. Wow, I would be surprised if
they give him time, Burrow, which is a big if. He was sacked 4 times against Kansas City in the regular season.
But 9.
He's actually good against pressure too. But if he's got decent, honestly, Rob, if he's sacked 5 times or less, that's good for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he's got the great receivers. He's a great quarterback himself. And he's got not only Jamar Chase, but T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. And then Joe Mixon out of the backfield as a runner and a pass catcher. So I agree. I think they're going to score points. Kansas City's defense, which went from abysmal early in the season to terrific midway toward the late end of the season, and they've kind of struggled lately against teams other than the Steelers. The Steelers can't score.
Right.
So it's no surprise they shut them down. So I think it's a good game. I think Bengals are going to be able to score points, but I got the Chiefs winning. But what I want to get to is your thought about what he said about Mahomes. Obviously, he said it in the midst. He didn't say he's already put together. That's ridiculous. He's got to close this thing out. Not only with getting to the Super Bowl, but winning it. But right now, Rob, you look at the numbers, and it's hard to deny because Mahomes has completed 76% of his passes. He's averaging 9.5 yards per pass. He's got 8 touchdowns and 1 pick in the 2 games. And Nick's right. Pittsburgh's not really a good team, but they got a good defense. And Buffalo was a very good team and had the number 1 defense in the league, and they put 42 on them. They're averaging 42 points a game in these 2 games. The record, Rob, for touchdown passes in a postseason is 11. He's got 8. So, I mean, forget it if he keeps on this pace. He'll have 16 if they get to win the Super Bowl. But it looks like you would think if they win this game, he's going to surpass 11, you would think. So right now, look, if he keeps this up, I think that Nick's not making a crazy point.
Yeah, I don't know. It would just be hyperbole. To this point, he's played really well. Like I said, this game against Buffalo was the one I give him the most credit, not Pittsburgh so much. I thought that they destroyed Pittsburgh. That they were able to score that many points against Buffalo was really the key. And the only other thing that's kind of weird is that he was outplayed in that game for most of it, except for the last 13 seconds and overtime.
Right.
Really, you've watched it.
I think Allen outplayed him. But he did. Overall, you'd go with Mahomes, obviously, because
he won
of the
game,
comeback.
right. But I'm just saying, for most of that game, you just marveled at what Josh Allen did. I mean, it was incredible. It really,
I think
really
it was both of. I mean, Allen, I thought, played better. That
Steve
last touchdown pass, and then the 2-point conversion.
Brought up the thing, Chris, that he scored 4 of the last 6 possessions against that.
Right.
You know what I mean? On the road?
Right. But the thing is, Mahomes wasn't playing poorly. Mahomes was doing his thing, too. That's the thing.
Just being
he was, 33 for 44, 378 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks himself. And he ran, actually, for more yards than Josh Allen. 7 carries, 69 yards. So he's averaging, Rob, almost 400 yards a game in the playoffs. That's ridiculous. And so I do think he's in the midst. We'll see if he keeps it up. And Allen, and here's the thing, because Mahomes threw for more yards than Allen. And ran for more yards than Allen. To me, what made Allen a little bit more impressive up until the final 13 seconds of regulation, and then, of course, overtime, where he never saw the ball, was that the degree of difficulty of his plays. And we had one of the guests, I can't remember who it was, talking about that, but he was just prolonging plays. And Mahomes does it too, but I thought Allen did it to a higher degree that day. But, Allen, look, Rob, real talk, if Josh Allen, if they had won that game, you'd be saying that Nick, I don't know if he'd say it because he's not a Josh Allen fan and he's a Chiefs fan, but you could say the same exact thing about Josh Allen. Had they won, Josh Allen, Rob, would be averaging 320 yards per game, 77% of his passes completed, over 10 yards per pass, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions.
No, he was.
So we would be right. We'd be saying if he keeps this up,
and
he will have the best run of any quarterback in postseason history.
And the only thing that's different, and it's not to take away from anything had it been Allen or if it's Mahomes, the game has just changed a lot as far as offense and throwing the football.
Right.
Like some of those touchdowns, Chris, in the old days would go to the running backs. It just wasn't that kind of game. Like your running back would have run in 2 touchdowns and your quarterback might have thrown in 2. It ain't like that now.
Right.
You're throwing touchdowns to your running back. You're not handing it off to him. Like that's the difference in the game now.
Right. That's a great point. And that's why Mahomes would probably, Rob, have to throw, for 16 touchdowns or something. If you're really going to judge it fairly, because they throw the ball so much more. And so you're right. You're going to have to weigh it, who the competition is. So far, I think the competition's been good, because even if you want to say, the Steelers weren't a very good team, their defense was pretty good. And you got TJ Watt, you got a great coach. So that's not to be, you can sneeze at the win, but you don't sneeze at the offensive display. But I think you brought up a great point to look at, it's not just going to be, okay, Mahomes' numbers were better, so he had the better postseason. It's going to be a lot of nuance in there. What drama was there? What factors did he have to overcome?
Yeah, it's just,
what big
right.
plays did he make? And he's already and it's not. I mean, he's done it with the 13 seconds and then marching right down the field in overtime and the touchdown pass. So he's got it so far, but it's gonna take more than just hefty numbers because his completion percentage and yardage, Rob, and touchdown. Well, we'll see about touchdowns, but certainly completion percentage and yardage is going to likely be better just because they throw the ball a lot more.
Yeah. No, it's just a different game, and it's hard to look at. Even some of the stuff, like and this is a little off the beaten path, but the Cooper Kupp, when they were trying to, say he should be the MVP, he didn't even eclipse Calvin Johnson's, yardage record, Chris,
With
and he
an
had an
extra
extra
game.
game. Right. Like that right there. Calvin didn't win the MVP. Like how could you make a case when he had an extra game and didn't even pass Calvin Johnson? I thought that was where sometimes the numbers get skewed because of the extra game.
Yeah.